Vice President Pence said Mr. Trump had made a plea to stop the violence in a phone call with the Turkish president.
The Trump administration is also imposing sanctions on Turkey.
KCAL 9's Jeff Nguyen joins us with the details. Jeff.
Guys, tonight the Trump administration is calling on Turkey to implement a ceasefire in northern Syria. This comes as the White House imposed sanctions in response to military aggression by Turkey. And adding to the sensitivity of this crisis, Turkey, you may remember, is a member of NATO. Kurdish hospitals have been overwhelmed with casualties, including small children, after Syrian regime forces went into towns and cities held until yesterday by Syrian Kurds. It comes after Turkish-backed militias ruthlessly took grounds by executing Kurdish soldiers and civilians. Over the weekend, President Trump ordered a pullback of U.S. forces in the region. This evening, Vice President Pence announced he's being sent to Turkey after President Trump had made a plea to stop the violence in a phone call with the Turkish president.
The President of the United States called on the President of Turkey to stop the invasion. The President has directed me to lead a delegation to Turkey to begin those discussions.
Really disappointed. We can't sleep. We're worried about what's going to happen next.
The Trump administration's handling of the U.S. troop withdrawal has been called a betrayal by Kurdish Syrian-Americans like the San Gabriel Valley man who only wants to go by the name Mike.
The president I voted for, he threw the Kurd under the bus overnight.
Southern California is home to about 10,000 Kurds. It comes in second to Nashville, which has the largest population in the United States. People there held a rally in solidarity of those back home. The Kurds have turned to Russian-backed Syrian forces aligned with dictator Bashar al-Assad to defend them against the Turkish advancement. Meanwhile, Turkish forces say they found a prison used to hold ISIS fighters deserted. Hundreds of ISIS family members and supporters had escaped from a detention camp, and Kurdish forces told CBS News they were struggling to contain 11,000 ISIS detainees. In a statement, the president said the U.S. will impose sanctions on current and former Turkish officials, impose a 50% tariff on steel, and cease negotiations on a $100 billion trade deal. In the meantime, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are working on sanction packages to punish Turkey separate from the White House. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham went on Fox News.
There's going to be crippling sanctions imposed by the Congress to supplement what President Trump's administration has done. We're going to send a signal to Turkey that's unmistakable.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi fired off a series of tweets saying Congress should also pass a joint resolution to overturn the president's decision to withdraw from Syria, in addition to passing a stronger sanctions package than the White House. Turkey has long considered the Turkish minority in Syria as a source of terrorism, while President Trump has argued that America has spent enough money protecting the minority group. But Mike wants to remind the White House that it was the Kurds who suffered 11,000 casualties while fighting against ISIS to protect the United States and the West.
For the future reference, who would trust, the American? Really, who would trust? If that's how you treat your allies.
Tonight, the vice president and a delegation say that they will leave for Turkey soon. In the meantime, Defense Secretary Mark Esper says he'll go to Brussels next week to push NATO allies to take diplomatic and economic steps to respond to Turkey's actions in Syria. Juan?
All right, Jeff, thanks.